successful investors, highlighting successful investors on our team. And speaking about team, thank you guys for hitting the record button. We don't want to miss the opportunity to record today's featured training. So guys, my name is Umair. I'm going to be your host for today as we walk you guys through. A lot of you share that you're from all across the country. And without further ado, we're going to have the two featured investors go ahead and jump off our training. Keith and Leafay, are you guys ready to rock and roll? Yeah?
Yes, we are.
Yeah,
awesome. Good morning. Good morning. So I know you guys are going to tell us about your deal and your story and a little bit about yourself. You want to just start off and we'll jump in. Guys, I wanted to say this. I didn't say this. The chat boxes are going to be open, so feel free to ask questions. So Keith and Leafay, you guys want to just tell us a little bit about yourself and we'd love to hear your story and just take it away.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you. And thank you for allowing us to be able to come out again. Hey, my name is Keith, and this is
Leafay.
Just in case people got confused. But we're really blessed to be able to come before you. And thank you for allowing us to come and talk about our deals, and Scott Buckles for allowing us to use his platform, and for you, Umair, to be able to just facilitate this and kind of walk us through and as we get to ask questions. But I do have some slides here. So I will kind of walk through that way. So that'll kind of keep us on track if you don't mind.
Absolutely.
All right, this is us. So again, Keith Leafay Jones, both of us are retired military. We both joined the military at a young age, right after school. And a matter of fact, that's where we met. We met while we was both in the military. She was head over heels for me. She couldn't keep her arms away from me. And I'm like, okay, I guess we get married. But she's a super trooper. Matter of fact, there's a picture, jumping out of, flying aircraft. She has jumped out of more aircrafts than I have. And so that's what we've done for combined almost over, over 50 years of, combined together of service. So it's been a whirlwind. I always wanted to learn about real estate investing. Matter of fact, when we first met, that was kind of like one of the things that, I guess we were testing each other about. I always wanted to do real estate investing. She wanted to build houses. And so that was kind of like one of our conversation that we started a long time ago.
Wow. So it's been a long time coming, huh?
Yeah, it's been married for some time now. So that's a little bit about like us. Anything you want to say about?
Well, the only thing that I wanted to say is that picture over to the left is at my retirement ceremony, and that time was for me just a long time coming, because I had always wanted to finish out the military and then transition to being a full-time real estate investor. And so that's what I'm doing now. So I'm excited about the journey that I've taken and where I am now.
Yeah. And, I just wanted to take the time and say thank you guys for your service. Thank you for serving our wonderful nation, because if it wasn't for people like you, we wouldn't be a part of this amazing country. So it's amazing that you guys served. And now here you are serving again to our investor group. So it's just, I love it.
Awesome. Yeah. And so one of the things that, people would ask us, like, why did we start this thing called real estate investing? And, like I said, I always wanted to do it, but I was the person who always said, I can do it tomorrow. I can do it tomorrow. And what I realized, tomorrow, I can never catch tomorrow. He kept moving on me. So it took me 20 years to figure that out. It was like, but my why wasn't strong enough, because it wasn't really that important until these guys came along. So when we realized that, our kids wasn't going to join the military. They're both in college, doing great things. And there's nothing wrong that they didn't, follow in our footsteps, but they wanted to chart their own path. And so we said, let's give our kids a leg up. Let's do something different. And one of the things, people talk about is generational wealth. But the question is, how do you do that? And so we picked this thing called real estate investing as a tool. And what we realized that in order for that to really happen, it must start with us.
Yeah. But one thing that I want to say is if you look at that picture, you might notice that we are in an ice hockey rink and that our boys play ice hockey. another reason why we do real estate investing is because ice hockey is expensive. Got a lot of stuff to buy.
Yeah, and that was like, and it was funny because that was we ran across a person who actually was doing real estate investing. He was kind of talking about it, and then he was also in the military, so that kind of really pushes, over to the edge to actually get started. So, but we realized it don't just happen, and so if we want to affect the change, the future, to really talk about generational wealth, it has to start with us, because if it doesn't start, then who's going to start it? That's kind of how we looked at it. And so, we really couldn't have, begun our journey without first our faith in God, faith in each other, leaning on each other in our family. So in our family, we don't have anybody who, we can say that are real estate investors, but they said, you know what, y'all go off and do great things. So we do have that. And then the education. You want to talk about that just real quick?
So as far as the education, to me, the education that we've receive from our community and our education platform is just fabulous, because as Keith and I said, over the years, we've been kind of dabbling in real estate investing and trying to learn
the hard way.
Yeah, the hard way and things like that. And once we found this community and the education, we started learning so many things and so many different things that you would think we would learn at school, or think that your parents would teach you. But a lot of times our parents don't even know the things that we learn through the education to even teach us these things. And so it's all about the education and the systems and everything that we have that we can work with, and the processes, and then just the value of being able to collaborate with other investors, other people across the United States. I have a deal that I'm trying to work down in Louisiana right now. And that's because of community.
Yeah, and like you're saying, like the support, right? And so it's not that our family members don't love us. They do love us, but if they don't know, they don't know. And so when we got aware to this, we was like, this is a game changer. And so just the relationship within the community, like Leafay was saying, people throughout the United States that we ran across, and even that picture there, across the nation, the masterminds of working together, understanding the education, just like the property tour, like this right here, this platform, I learned a lot, just by listening and actually diving into, the material, and just the local and regional and national events. Like the picture there, that was a national event that we went to. And people say, well, you've been doing this for a long time. No, I mean, we really got started in 2018. That's when we made the final decision that we're not going back, and we was going forward. And I'm so glad that we decided to do that together and kind of move forward. So one of the questions, that we was asked, like, okay, Keith, I understand you're doing a property tour, but why are you doing a fix and hold? Well, we wanted a property because we want to fix it up to our standard. So we have a certain standard that we go for. But then again, you remember generational wealth. And so we talk about the income that was going to come in with it. We understand through the education, like how the depreciation goes with it. We bought it at the right price because it had instant equity already in it. And then the appreciation, right? Over time, the value of the property goes up. And now we know how to leverage the system, the bank system, in our favor versus it going against us. And that's why for us, it was really the ideal of kind of going forward. And we didn't learn this on our own. We learned it through a group and the community and just staying plugged in. What I always like to say is, if you want to make a change, if you really want to make a life change, you got to look at who's around you. And if you're the smartest person in the room, you're probably in the wrong spot. And so I want to get around people who are doing deals, who's actively doing stuff, not people who are just talking about it. And so, and again, I'm really appreciative of just the community, the education, and the support that we have. But all right, it sounds like I'm like.
I love it, guys, and thank you for sharing just a little bit of the reasons why you guys jumped into this, your background, your story, and now we're excited about seeing this deal.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to talk about, right? The deal. And so.
So the deal that we're talking about today, we're going to talk about two different properties, but it didn't start with these properties. It actually started with the property tour that we did a couple of months before this with this particular house back in December, which was my birthday month, the month of May. And I had told Keith the thing that I wanted for my birthday was basically to flip a house. But after we talked about it, we did another, of the fix and hold with that house too. But the reason why that house is important is because whenever I was in the process of renovating that house, you have people that come by, they're kind of curious as to what you're doing and things like that. And this person drove by, and he kind of inquired, well, what are you doing and stuff like that. And me being the social butterfly, I'm just kind of talking with him and things like that. And I started asking questions, as far as the real estate, what a real estate investor might ask other people. And I came to find out that he was a tired real estate investor who had been having issues with the current properties that he had. And it's actually the two properties that we're going to be featuring today. But because he came by, and then I kind of knew the right questions and everything to ask, I was able to formulate that deal in order to basically acquire those two properties from him.
So you found this deal just from having taken action and just by having normal everyday conversations. And these are off-market deals you found just by opening your mouth and having the right questions.
Correct.
I love it. Amazing.
And so in this particular photo, because you said it's off market, pretty much what that means is we did not use a realtor at all. And when you're doing deals, you don't have to use a realtor, especially if you are educated enough to work the deals yourself. And in these two properties, we did not use a realtor. So that's me in the middle at the title company, getting the keys to the two properties. And then the one at the bottom is me working with my contractor and signing the pretty much the contract of what I wanted done to the house. So you want to say anything about that?
Yeah. And so again, this deal, we were solving his problem. And so, somebody had told me when you start doing deals start coming to you. I thought, that young person was joking. I'm not going to say that person.
That's funny.
But he did say that, and I was like, wow. And yeah, it really did happen. And so now we're going to kind of look at this deal. And but yeah, we are in Virginia, and these properties are in Virginia. And yes, we are looking at doing some properties in Louisiana. She's in, I think it's the Baton Rouge area. But these projects right here, we're just going to show you go to the next one real quick. So this is number one, and I'll let you do number one and I do number two.
Okay. So with this one, basically there was a lot more to do with this particular property than the other one Keith is going to talk about. If you can see the difference in the two pictures, literally we changed out all the windows because these houses was built back in like 1970 something. I can't remember the exact date, year, but they had the single pane windows, and around the windows was deteriorating a lot and things like that. And so we changed out all the windows. We updated the shutters, painted the door, and just kind of cleaned up a lot of things. And then the molding around underneath the
crown molding under the window.
Yeah, underneath the window. So and the soffit up at the top, that definitely needed to be updated. So that's one of the things that's a lot of stuff that we did to the exterior of this.
You did a nice little facelift.
Yeah, so facelift. Thank you.
There you go.
Yeah. And so on the left, you will see the before, and on the right, you will see the after. So just in case somebody's following.
Okay. And so here, basically, when you enter the property, you have a half bath where you also have your washer and dryer hookups. And so in this particular thing, we did renovations of everything in there except for the 2 cabinets that you see. So you see the new lighting, the new mirror, the vanity, and even with the toilets got changed out. We kept the laundry in this particular unit, and lighting and flooring. So that's pretty much on that.
Yes, yeah. So just as to let people know, so in this area, it's a 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath. It's really popular in the area. Yeah, and then so let me see what else we want to say on this one. No, I think that's it. You got it.
So no real repositioning here. It looks like you guys painted it, made it look pretty, added new floors, new windows. Were those windows right there are brand new as well, right?
Yes, and all blinds. All the blinds got changed out throughout and everything. So, and on the entryway, pretty much we the whole unit is pretty much a lot of cosmetic work. So you can see that the stairs, so we took off the old carpet, which had been in there since like 1978, whenever it was built, because it was dingy.
Is it red or I don't know?
It's actually, it was a dingy brown.
Okay.
Yeah, and and then the flooring we chose a waterproof laminate flooring, so that is durable, and because we want this place obviously to last for generations to come. So we wanted to pick quality material that we knew was going to last a good while, so we don't have to change it 5-10 years down the line. And the lighting.
Yeah, and can you tell me a little bit about, so it looks like you guys took the carpet out and then did you?
Oh yeah, and so basically we sanded down the floors and painted and just painted the stairs.
Very modern. Looks good.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
And here in the kitchen, basically got a facelift to the kitchen. One thing that you'll see, that new microwave space, and you'll see in the next picture, but basically I wanted my future tenants to have a place where they can actually use a microwave and not have to sit a microwave on the countertops, because the kitchen is small within itself and it takes up a lot of space to have to put a microwave. So I did have the contractor carve out the cabinet above and actually put a microwave range up there. Refaced all the cabinets with a nice coat of paint and whites, changed out all the appliances.
Brand new.
All brand new appliances. One thing that if you happen to have seen our previous tour, the one thing that I did, I went with the traditional stove with the eyes versus the glass top, because I've noticed that in like my short-term rentals and other things that I have, those glass tops, they tend to get, as people are cooking on them, they get scratched up and it's hard to make it come back to a pristine condition. So I decided to go with the stove with the eyes, because those you could just easily change out, and then the metal things that catch all the food can easily change out. So you remember, I'm thinking generations to come.
Yeah, you're thinking longevity in everything you do with your rental, right? Because it at the end of the day, it affects your numbers.
Correct.
I love it. I love it.
Okay, and then you can see the previous person had their microwave on there, and obviously you see that the microwave itself is a small microwave, where now it has a nice size microwave that you can actually cook a meal in. And then so on this, we also updated the electric. You want to talk about electric?
Yeah, so we updated these right here because they were the older style. And in order for it to pass certain codes, we made the GFI units here, because part of it, because it's close to water, you have to be able to have that shut off. And so,
Yeah,
we
so,
brought it
so
up.
back in the day, they just had the 2-prong and you change it from the 2 to the 3 as well.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
Then in the living room, now one thing that that's consistent throughout the whole townhouse community is there's like this water issue above where the full bath is upstairs, and that goes into the living room where you see the blue marks on the in the ceiling. So because I had already did a renovation in there, we knew that going into these 2 projects, that was going to be something that we was going to have to tackle. So the contractor already knew, hey, we're going to need to fix this. So that's the one thing that was fixed. And then we added the recessed lighting in the living room because there was absolutely no lighting except for the
Floor lamp.
the floor lamps and then the ceiling fan. So now let there be light. So you have a lot of light now. So when you go upstairs, going back, so we did either change out the doors or updated the doors by painting them because a lot of the doors was cracking a lot. So it was either changed out completely or painted, you know. And then the picture in the center, another consistent thing that was throughout the townhomes is this little crack in the wall. It must be a builder's defect because even in the one that we did before, we had to fix that one thing. So we knew that going in. And then at the landing, we brightened up the place. And I believe in this one, did they have the ceiling fan up there? Yeah, they had a ceiling fan. They had a ceiling fan. I didn't put their picture in, but they had a ceiling fan at the top of this particular landing, and the ceiling fan like took up the whole space.
Yeah, it was almost like you had a duct to walk in there.
So we took that down and just put light, a nice lighting up there. So, bedroom number 1, basically basic bedroom, but as you can see. The aesthetics, we changed out the ceiling fans, floors, and the blinds. Now, I love the blinds because the blinds are not the blinds that you pull down like this. It's the blinds that you actually would lift up from the bottom to the top and pull down. So I love those type of blinds. And like I said, the windows are new. Oh, one thing that if you could see the air vents on the floor, we did change out the air vents on, obviously throughout the house because they were definitely rusted and had stuff all in them and everything like that. Changed out the closets in all the rooms because those closets, even though they looked like they were sitting there, usable, they were kind of falling off. So changed out all the closets and the electrical and the facing of the light switches and everything there. So the bathroom itself got a complete overhaul except for the bathtub itself. So you got a new vanity, new mirror, new lighting, and the new toilet. Oh, for a little tidbit here. And I said this in the previous property tour, but if you look at the toilets, there's a difference between having a round toilet and a oblong toilet. So my contractor enlightened me that a round toilet is more for females, okay? And the oblong toilet, if you think about it, is more for the male or more unisex type of toilet. So all our toilets got changed out to be the oblong one, if you got that.
Just think.
I feel bad for the men.
Huh?
I said, I feel bad for the men.
No,
yeah, if they had to use
if they had to use the circle one.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. I got it.
Yeah.
You got it, Mayor?
Yeah, I was like, wait, what?
And so you can see there was also some changes up here that we had to take care of, change out those vents, and this is pretty cool. And then here's your next one.
Huh. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. This is basically just another view. And like, I really like the air vents. They kind of stand out, they're white and everything, but I just like the air vents that we chose, but go ahead. This is bedroom number 2, basically the before and after. You just got a clean slate. The same thing that we did throughout, changed out the windows, the blinds, the closets, the ceiling fan, and the flooring, painted the doors and everything like that. So not too much to say on that.
All right, so that was number 1. So now we go into number 2. As you can see, the face of this one is a little bit different. So on this one, we just did more of the landscape and general cleanup and painted the doors. Again, the same 2 bedrooms, 1.5. So again, on the right-hand side, when you walk in, there goes the before and after. On this one, we did not keep the washer and dryer. They were actually the previous owners who moved out. And so this one did not come with a washer and dryer, but you can see we made all the changes to the flooring, to the blinds, even to the light, right? So that way it's your electricity bill won't be high, right? Because this is more efficient, even down to the light bulbs.
And Keith, it looks like it's a same floor plan. So if you stick with the same floor plan, it becomes easier and easier and easier and easier to
Yes.
the same type of units, right?
And you also notice it's the same color floors, the paint and everything, because one of the things that we was thinking, like, well, we can make this one look like this, but then over time that gets too complex and then it's hard to remember what you did and what, and then it's just easier just to keep everything the same.
Yeah, because I actually really wanted to do something different with this one, because if you see in the picture on the left, it actually has ceramic tiles, and you'll see in the future pictures it had like this in the kitchen, you'll see different flooring and things like that. So being the somewhat decorator type person that I am, I kind of wanted to do it like a French Quarters, New Orleans type theme. But like Keith was saying, just consistency. When we think of great paint, all of them have great paint. When we think of the flooring, they're all the same flooring. So, as time goes on, when we have to go fix something or, have the contractor go in or do something, we know what color paint it is. So
yeah, and plus that, being disciplined, right? Again, why are we doing this? For generational wealth? And so what was coming out of her was her short-term rental experience. Like she was like, but this is not a short-term rental. So, and then we went back. So again, we was staying disciplined. And when you stay disciplined, you take out a lot of the risk. So again, it's same, it almost like it's the same picture, but you can tell there's things different, right? But so
the molding
is a lot different in this one. But we took up the carpet, stained and painted. Everything was as if new. Changed out the lighting. You want to say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay, and like here in the kitchen now, this is where we had a lot of discussion. So again, same type of appliance, all brand new. As you can see, the countertop was actually changed on this one, because the countertop on this one was the tiles and they were cracked. And so instead of trying to resurface it and then you have other issues that goes along with that. So we decided to, change out the countertops, but we kept the backsplash, but the backsplash is painted.
Yeah.
Right. So it goes with the decor. So that's kind of like what we did within. Again, the same concept, floor, lighting, all those changes.
Yeah, but the floors, even though the floors was old, I could really work with those diamond floors, because like I say, being from Louisiana, I really wanted to do a French Quarters type theme, and that would have been kind of perfect, but we decided to stay consistent.
Yeah, and so the question was about, the cost efficiency for the toilet. The answer is yes. So because we did get a newer toilet, it was more efficient. So because that one that was there has been there for some time. And so for water consumption, yes, it was actually better to have a newer one.
And did you guys just paint those cabinets? Same cabinets?
Yeah, so we resurfaced the cabinets, kept that there. Again, we're trying to fix it up, make it nice, but not so nice that nobody can move in, right? Because then that kind of defeat the purpose.
Or price ourselves out of the
Right,
community.
right.
It sounds like you knew your exit strategy, right? Like you weren't looking to fix and flip it and make a high profit. You're looking to get it right so you can hold on to it to collect rents.
Yeah, and what we noticed while we was doing, like, even like the first one, like Faye was saying, people would start to get interested in what was actually happening. And then what happened was the other so-called investors in the area started to realize that they were not taking care of their tenants. And now they're starting to look at, updating their places. So again, we're just trying to, take care of people. And then here is the living room. So the living room is totally different now. Really nice paint. We changed out the ceiling, again, recessed lighting. Once we did it in the other one, we said that's a standard. So our general contractor already knew exactly what was about to happen. So he knew that we were going to put recessed lighting. He knew we was going to change out. Again, everything's more efficient. The fan that was in there, yeah, it was a big fan, but again, it was an older fan, and these newer ones help with the cost.
And one thing that our general contractor learned from doing the previous one is the microwave that we put in. The issue with the microwave is the electrician actually had to run a wire from the microwave out to the box outside. And he knew that he was going to have to do that on these two. And so that's one thing that we had to actually plan for too.
Yeah. Bringing a lot of value. And so here's the other angle. Again, if you notice, there we go again. Same type of situation, but it's all taken care of now. Again, as you go up, again, changing lights, everything's is new. As you kind of go up the steps, lighting, flooring, and paint. Here in the bedroom, this one we didn't have to change out the windows, but here, we changed out the blinds. It's almost like a cookie cut scenario. Now, here's the thing too. I don't know if you knew, Amir, but while we was doing these projects, because life still goes on, we still had to send our son off to college. So we dropped him off at college while this project was going on. We had to go on some business trips while this project was going on, but we were still connected with the general contractor the whole entire time because we already had a plan. We knew exactly what was going on. He would give us updates. So we was always doing the same. And it was great that we kind of repeated the same process because then we kind of knew what was going on, if that makes sense.
And now you can do it over and over and over and over until you hit your revenue goals, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's what we kind of look at. And here, again, change it out and paint, refresh, making it really nice. And then here, as you can see, the exact same thing for the upstairs landing, updated the smoke detectors. We just really, brought this thing to 2022 standards. And then, as like the Faye was saying, they had different flooring and like almost in different places. So again, another different flooring as we kind of go into here.
Yeah, because I was going to do a different color in that bathroom.
Yeah, she had like 20 different colors. It was like, we can't do that. General contractor's like, whoa, what you doing? But we came back to earth. But we see some things that we kept because we thought that was, that was different. It kind of bring a different pop. Again, everything was updated. When it comes to here, the different type of, now even this toilet was different from the other one. But again, this is still efficient to the vanities and to the lights. As you can see how we changed out.
Yeah, because you see how dirty that bit was.
And so there was a question about our general contractor. So our general contractor, we don't do partnership. I am the investor. He's the general contractor. So we can keep our lines separated. But he has done a couple of properties with us before, so he knows our taste. We have conversations. We picked out the different flooring. We picked out the colors. So sometimes when you mix too many things together, then things can go in different directions. But we wanted to be clear and on purpose what we was looking for, and the relationship is really awesome when we do that. So.
Yeah, somebody saying no major repairs or rehab. Yeah, we
Right.
didn't knock down any walls.
Yeah, we didn't want, that's not what we was looking
Yeah.
for. Again, we were solving a problem that another investor was having, and that's what we decided to do. And then here, as you can see from a different angle, and we just made a lot of updates. Again, we wanted to provide value. Yeah. I was just looking at a comment there.
Yeah, what was the problem being solved?
So,
the problem that was being solved was that the previous owner, he was not well educated. He kind of had just been doing things on his own. He didn't have any systems in place.
No support
or anything like that. And his current tenants was giving him headaches and things like that. And so that's even one of the things that we had to consider, moving forward, whether we wanted to keep the current tenants or find new tenants. And so it worked out where we decided that we were going to find new tenants, but he had a headache. And that was the problem that we saw. And so that's kind of like what you look for as an investor, is to solve a problem. What problem is this homeowner having? Is it a foreclosure? Did somebody pass away? You try to help them solve their problem.
So it sounds like he got to a point where he was like, man, I can't take it anymore. My numbers don't work. I don't have a good business model that's creating cash flow, because he had a lack of education. So you came in to, you know what, I can make the numbers work for me. I can build equity, then I can reposition the equity and continue to build my portfolio. So it sounds like your vision for your business was just a lot bigger than maybe this landlord.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then and we always want to provide value back to our tenants, and teaming up. Anyway, so I can just go to the next one, because that's actually going to
Well, there's another question in here before we get to that. Dinesh asked, is it worthwhile for you to build your own team? If not yet, at what point do you consider building your own contracting company? So that's a great question. And I don't want to just leave it unhandled. It just depends on the revenue, and if it makes sense to create another company with another set of books and another set of payroll. So we even know we have friends that own multi-million-dollar apartment buildings, and they don't have their own contracting companies. So it has to make sense for the business model, right? It's a hard question to answer there, but as you grow your revenue, and Keith may say yeah or no to this, but as you grow your revenue, if it's enough, then you may want to consider doing that as a value add to your top or bottom line numbers, if that makes sense. So
yeah, I agree. And it's really, I agree with you, Amir. And it really gets down to your why. Why are you doing this? Right. And so for us, again, we want to stay disciplined. We want to stay, in our lane. And if I hand that off to somebody else to do, that's great, right? Let them, grow their business, let them do that. And then we build that relationship like we did with our general contractor. So like if we have another deal, we know who to call. If he has a project and he said, hey, he's looking for an investor, then he's going to, send it to us. You see what I'm saying? So we work hand in hand.
And just to say this, the contractors, not to offend anyone, but they're a dime a dozen, right? But as long as you build those relationships, you're not really dependent on anyone. Because like Leafay said, there's a process and a system when it comes to working with contractors and building a team, but you don't have to own a separate contracting company, right? You want to be focused in what you're doing. And if you're here, what we do is we invest so we can live a good life.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree. And that's where we say the applied knowledge is power, right? So it's not just knowledge, applying it. And so one of the things that when I talk to some folks and they say, well, I just want to learn, fix and flip, or I just want to learn buy and hold, I just want to learn wholesaling. And I'm like, you're missing the bigger picture. I say, because sometimes it's when the other person is talking and they say, well, I only do, fix and flip, and they really big in whatever they do. What they're not sharing with you is the other strategies that they also know, but they're only telling you one thing. And so what we applied in these two projects, I mean, tenants and rental agreements. How do you set that up? How do you set it up correctly? Understand the title. Again, we didn't use a real estate agent. We went to a title company. We understood how the closing costs. We did all of that, the buy and hold strategy. But yeah, we did a fix and hold. So then understanding credit. Okay. So how do you help? We went through a lot of tenants to be able to, to be qualified to be able to get through. But a lot of the things I was doing was educating them too, right? So that way they can understand why they wasn't qualifying or, what they should probably do next. So I'm learning, but also I'm trying to do, again, we was in the military, we provided service. That's what we do. So we was provide, so we learned to help that, how to have that negotiation, to be able to get those properties and in different creative ways. But understanding what is the tax and legal piece that comes along. So we talked with our CPA before we purchased this.
Yeah,
right?
we did talk to her.
Say, how's our portfolio going to look? Are we on the right track? And then you will see here pretty soon how to have conversation with, private and hard money lenders. And Mary, you was correct. We did our market analysis. So when the tired landlord, great guy, he was just tired. We ran our numbers and it was like, whoa, this can really work. And then we automated our business, right? So that's how and then down the future, how do you pay off all of these properties? And it's just really awesome. And then how do you provide value to your tenants when you team up? Again, that fix and flip piece, we didn't flip it, but we did fix it up. And you got to know that what you call that boundary, that how you balance it out. And then home inspection. Yes, I went through there and I looked at the property myself. Did I have a home inspector come through? No. We taught how to do that. And if there was any big thing that came up, of course, my general contractor was there with us because we already went through the first one that way. I know you wanted to say something.
No, I was about to say, that's one thing about Keith and I, Keith will go into the property and he'll see everything that's wrong with the property. And he got his little list. And I go in and I'm like, ooh, I can do this and I can do that. And ooh, this can make. So it's good to have different perspectives because we balance each other out.
Seems like you guys are a really good team, right? It's like you think opposite, but you come together at the end of the day. So I love it.
Yeah.
And then how do you put this thing on contract, right? So how do you do that? And so well,
as far as the contracts is concerned, like Keith started out saying, a lot of people want to be in one niche, like wholesaling or, and just do fix and flips. But regardless of what you do, you need to know how to write a contract. I mean, contracts is like across the board. You need to know tax and legal strategies across the board, no matter what strategy that you're using. Anyway, I just wanted to throw that in.
And so we was able to do that. And of course, all of our contracts, it went through the lawyers, the title company, everything was good to go. But the four things that we do really want to talk about is
so as far as your belief, a lot of people will ask Keith and I about getting started and everything, and they keep putting it off, like he say tomorrow I'll do it tomorrow. But the thing about it is, a lot of times you're scared because of your risk level, and that's really because of the lack of knowledge. Because the more knowledge you have in something, the more confidence you're going to also have. And so it's all about and it's all about your knowledge and believing in yourself, because even you can be a doctor or lawyer and have all of this knowledge up here, but until you get your first client or your first homeowner, it's like you have to take action. If you make a mistake, learn from the mistake. It doesn't matter that you make a mistake, you learn from it, but you have to believe in yourself to go out and do it. And then the community. Like I told you before, that's one thing I love about our community, because if I don't know something or I'm unsure about something, I can call, people within the community and think, hey, what do you think about this and this? And they can help me strategize with different things. So you're not in this by yourself. You have a whole community. And my biggest thing is take action. You have to do something. Tomorrow is not promised to you. You can be here today, gone tomorrow. But do you have kids? what are you leaving for your kids? Are you leaving debt for your kids, or are you leaving some wealth for your kids? You have to take action. And that's why the applied knowledge is power. It's not just knowledge is power, it's applied knowledge is power. That's all I gotta say.
And you can see where her passion comes in. And so I know we're getting short on time, so we're gonna look at the numbers, right? So here they go. So we're gonna start with the left side. So on the left side, you can see what the purchase price, the renovation was. Again, number one took a little bit more than number two when it comes to total investment. We did use private investors. So we did not use any of our own money. We had conversation with investors. It was two for both of these. And so we paid them interest throughout the year. And you can see there, the rent for these units is $1,250. Okay, that is the going rate for the area. The T&I, which is taxes and insurance, is around $147 a month. There is an HOA that we do pay in the area. So we pay back our investors up front first, and then as you can see, we cash flowing around $634, monthly.
So Keith, this is amazing. I just want to point some things out. So you purchased both properties for right around the same price, had roughly the same renovation cost. That second one, it looks like it was a $3,000 less, but you did these deals without using a traditional bank. And it looks like, if I'm seeing this correctly, you guys didn't have to give 20% down.
Correct. No, nothing.
Wow. Okay. Now we're talking. So you're basically into 2 rental properties with $0 out of pocket and creating a little over $1,200 a month of passive income.
Correct.
Wow. Now that's amazing. I didn't know if anyone was going to ask, so I had to make sure that I'm seeing what I'm seeing correctly. I love it.
So somebody asked a question about the classes. Do they teach from start to finish? And yes, they do. And that's how we were able to do this deal, because negotiations is one. Private lending, private and hard money lending, you need to know the difference, because if we would have went with a private hard money lender, we would have had a lot of fees. We would have had to put down money, and different things like that, where just being able to talk to people, get them to understand your vision, where you're going, how much money you're going to make in order to pay them back. Because one thing investors want to know is, how am I going to get my money back? Right. And what happened if this thing goes left? They want to know these things.
They want security.
They want security.
So people thinking, oh, I can just go ask my buddy. It don't work that way. You got to have these conversations. Matter of fact, it's actually easier to go to a bank than it is to go to somebody as a
that
private, as a private investor, because they're going to ask, where's your business plan? What is your 5-year, 10-year plan? There was so much more that the class teaches. As a matter of fact, I think right after this, there is another meeting right after this that actually helps people who want to know how to do that. Just ask the person who invited you to this one, and they'll get you the Zoom link at the top of the hour that they're going to get started. But you're right, Umair, that is one of the things. When we sat down, we ran the numbers, again, talking to the other investors. Oh, one thing I just want to make sure, I want to get across. One of the things that we also implemented for our tenants. So when our tenants, because I'm all about automation. So when our tenants pay on time, every single time, it goes into this system where it helps them build their credit. So I am totally different from the other investors in the whole area, because when they use our system and they plug in with us, it helps build their credit.
And a lot of times, tenants may be in a position where they need to increase their credit score. And since their reports monthly.
And you may be, and I'm sorry to cut you off, and you may be prepping those tenants to eventually buy the home at a higher purchase price.
But at least give them the option to be able to be a homeowner.
Correct.
Because some people, just don't think they could ever be. And so we are stepping out there. Yes, we're doing generational wealth for our family, but we also want to help others.
Wow, I love the value that you're providing. Your tenants are happy. You guys are making money. You're providing value to the neighborhoods. Other people are seeing how beautiful you're making your properties, so the other landlords are catching on. Look at all of these benefits. I'm really loving the way you guys structured this, and I'm grateful that that you guys have just learned and you're taking action.
Yeah, again, we want to thank the community. We want to thank you, thank Scott Buckles. It's just, I mean, this is really awesome because this is something that we talked about over 20 something years ago, and we're now doing it. And the cool thing about it is, at the end of the day, Umair, our kids are seeing us.
Yes.
I mean, it's not what you say, it's what they see you do.
Ooh, you could say that again.
So just to let you know, my son, Keith's birthday is this weekend, but my son came home yesterday as a surprise. He didn't know anything about it. That's a different story. But before I came home, I actually took my son to go to my short-term rental since the guests that day didn't check in till 4 o'clock. And so I went and, just showed him that because my son lives in Florida, and he hadn't seen the unit since I actually got this one up and running. And so just them coming to the property, and my other son who's in school in Pennsylvania, he saw us actually in the process of renovating these 2 properties. So they're seeing us in action. They actually are learning the education. We watch the videos together. My son asks questions, and he's like, so mom, you're the one that's in Philly. He's like, so if I buy a house and I do like a 4-bedroom, I could stay in one of those rooms and rent out the other rooms to people. And I was like, yes, Zachary, yes, you got it. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I love how you guys are intentionally teaching your children how to think, and not a lot of that is happening in today's society. And I want to say this, a lot of times people say, hey, how do people afford Lamborghinis and Ferraris and nice vacations, and how do they create the cash flow to do that? Well, guys, what could you guys do with an extra $1,200 a month? Right? And as Keith and Leafay continue to do this and do more deals, their revenue can get to $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 a month, because they're thinking about the benefits of everyone involved, and they're also structuring their lives in a way that's based off of cash flow, right? So if the stock market crashes tomorrow, they're not going to be out of luck, right? I love this, guys. We have about 7 minutes, and I know we've got some things you want some ending thoughts that I know you guys want to close the meeting with. Guys, we are having an introductory training to our group hosted and trained by me right after this meeting. If you'd like to attend, just contact whoever got you to this meeting and we'll get you the Zoom link. You want to finish off our property tour for today?
Yeah, so I do want to invite everybody to that if you are curious about getting started in real estate investing, like Umair said, there's something after this. But this picture that I have is dear to my heart because we collaborate as a community. And that's so important to me because you get to know people, you get to literally talk to people and collaborate on deals. And this was us at Dave & Buster's. So it's not necessarily all about real estate. We get together for other things. We go bowling. We went to the movies together, so it's not necessarily just about working the deal. We have fun too. And so that's why I wanted to put this as our last picture, because I want you to see some of the people within our community.
She said it all. I guess there's nothing else for me to say. Say thank you, good night, and But no, thank you for everything.
Well, guys, this has been an absolute pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys do more deals. I know you've done lending, you've done Airbnb type of deals, you're doing rentals, you guys have been involved in fix and flips. You are an example for people who are wanting to do this but aren't sure, right? You were courageous enough to step in there, start learning and taking action. And so
and my next thing that I'm looking for is an apartment complex. I got
There
what
you
I'm
go.
looking at right now, and that's the one that I'm looking for, baby.
Because remember, it's not about the people you see or even about me. It's really about you learning, understanding, and carving your own path through real estate investing. Guys, thank you for spending some time with us. Join us on our introductory training. It's happening right now. We're starting in 5 minutes, and we'll look forward to seeing you guys there. Bye, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. All right. And
Awesome
Keith,
job.
yep.
Yes.
Keith, you're gonna be joining on the next one on the intro, yeah? All right, buddy. I'll see you there. Bye.